Hey everyone, LittleMoeGaming at lunch here. Welcome back. Hope you've had a great week. Happy Friday. I know I'm ready for the weekend. It's been a long week. I'm ready to just go home, chill for a couple days, play some video games. Although I do work on Sunday for a few hours. It's a short shift, not too bad, but plan on playing some more KCD2 this weekend and playing some Paper Mario. That'll kind of get me into my topic for today. So we're about halfway through the year. We're in late April now, going into May, so about halfway through the year. And since the year has started, I've really been focusing on playing older games. Hence the title of this video, why I think 2025 might be the year of the older games for me. I have a pretty big backlog. A lot of games that I've collected over the years, games that maybe I haven't collected, but they're kind of in the back of my mind and I want to play them. But of course, just lacking the time to actually play everything. And I'm sure some of you are in the same boat. A lot of games that you want to play that have just kind of been adding up. Excuse me. And starting off the year, the first game that I played this year, well, technically I played like 80% of the game last year, 2024, which is why I actually included it in my Games of the Year video. That's Assassin's Creed Mirage. So that was technically like my last game of 2024, but I also rolled credits on that game halfway through January because at the time I kind of took a break. So I played most of the game in December and then finished it in January. So it's still like a 2024 game, but it's technically the first game that I finished this year. And then straight after that, I jumped into Judgment, which I've talked about in a bunch of my videos and showed gameplay for. Absolutely love that game. It's been on my backlog for many years, and I was very excited to finally get into it, and I really had a blast. And then after I finished Judgment, I wanted to get into something new, and specifically that was KCD2, which I did start after Judgment, but then I took a little break and I tried to play Mortal Shell. Mortal Shell being a Souls-like game that has been on my backlog, it's kind of a deep cut in my backlog. I remember hearing about it a long time ago and seeing some gameplay and thinking it looked really cool. So I thought to myself, I saw it on PSN, it was included with the catalog. I was like, let me go ahead and download this and try it out, which I did, but as I talked about in my video where I talked about it, one of the earlier episodes, I'll link it above if I can, if I figure out which one it is. It wasn't for me, and I pretty much stopped playing it right away and jumped right back into KCD2 and really started to get into it and get a feel for the world and everything. So KCD2 is technically still a brand new game. It came out less than 3 months ago, I think. So that's not necessarily an older game, but between play sessions of KCD2, I'm playing a lot of older stuff. So I still have Octopath Traveler on my Switch that I'm playing. I don't know when I'll finish that game. It's going to take me some time, but I do jump into it from time to time. And that's, of course, a game from the early days of the Switch. Also, what I've been really enjoying lately is just going into the Nintendo Switch Online consoles, like the SNES, the NES, the Sega Genesis, the N64, the emulations that they have, the official emulations for those consoles, included with Nintendo Switch Online. I've been going into those and just really digging into it and seeing what games are available and just kind of like jumping into a game from time to time. A lot of these older games, especially like on the Sega Genesis, a lot of them are older arcade games that you would find in an arcade in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s maybe. And so I find it really cool that, after work, when I get home, after everything's all said and done, and I have like a little bit of time to myself to just sit and play a video game, I like to just pull out my Switch, open up the Genesis app, and play something like Altered Beast, or maybe even Golden Axe, or Streets of Rage. And I'm going to be showing gameplay from these games in this video. I'm also going to be showing VR gameplay. I've been also back into VR. Last weekend, I put on the headset early in the morning and tried to, wanted to play something. I found there was a game called Arcade Paradise, which I thought, honestly, it was just like a simulated arcade that you would walk around in, and you go from machine to machine, which it kind of technically is. But on top of all that, it's also like a management simulator where you manage like a washateria to make money to buy more arcade cabinets, so you can also manage an arcade at the same time. Really cool stuff. I started playing that early in the morning. It's funny. I got up, I put on my headset, and I started playing this game, Arcade Paradise. And at the same time that I'm like trying to engage in probably what is one of the most literal forms of escapism that there is right now, being virtual reality, I started to get stressed out because it's a management simulator and you're running a washateria. So you have to deal with cleaning the bathroom, picking up trash, taking people's clothes and putting them in the washing machine, watching the timer and putting them in the dryer, and getting all this done before the end of the shift, and to pulling out money. I'm stressing myself just talking about it, but no, it was fun. There's something satisfying about it. Weird enough, like they take the management sim aspect of it and make it arcadey in itself, where like if you need to throw the trash, right, like you'll pick up trash, your trash bag will get full, and then you have to go outside, and there's a little mini game where you pick up the trash bag and you have to throw it into the dumpster. And it's really cool because you're literally standing across from this dumpster and throwing it like with your arm. So that's just the thing about virtual reality that I love, is how immersive and how what's the word I'm looking for here, how engaging it is, like with your own physical body, using your body as a controller, and like doing these actions in real life to get them done in the game. Something I really enjoy and appreciate about VR. I wish that I could play more of it. It's just, it's a little bit of a hassle to set up with the PSVR 2. It's not a wireless headset, so I have to turn on the PlayStation and make sure the wire's all good and all that. So, but when I do get a chance to go in there, it really is a treat. And that morning, after I got my fill with Arcade Paradise, I started playing Vertigo 2. Vertigo 2 is also an older game that was released on the PSVR 2. Really fun. It's like a sci-fi space shooter where you're shooting aliens and silly scenarios. Really good physics and like use of the guns and reload, like the way you reload the guns. Every gun is unique. I really do appreciate that, and I like it. And I'm going to be showing gameplay footage of that here in this video as well. So yeah. Vertigo 2 and Arcade Paradise, really fun games on the headset. It's not anything new. There are plenty of brand new games on the PSVR 2 that look amazing, like Metro, Alien. There's a couple more, I forgot which ones. Skydance's Behemoth. Those are new games that came out earlier this year. But I just wanted to play something that I already had and is kind of on my backlog, which is why I jumped into Vertigo 2 and Arcade Paradise, which was available on PSN. That being said, going back and playing these games, there's a lot of VR games that, I guess you could consider them older games that I haven't played yet that I want to play. And then on the Switch, like going back into these console catalogs and playing these older games, I'm actually kind of blanking on if I mentioned it earlier in the video or not, but I recently jumped back into Paper Mario on the N64, which is arguably my favorite game of all time. I'm probably going to make a video about it I'm kind of working on it in my head on like how I would make that video, what I would talk about. So definitely will probably put that out someday. I don't know when, so just keep an eye out for that. It'll be a while, but I am gonna make a video about that. Paper Mario is arguably my favorite game of all time, and I haven't played it in a really long time. The last time I played Paper Mario, actually, I think I did play it back in like 2019, maybe early 2020, around when the pandemic started. I did play it in that time. I did like a quick run through. I didn't really take my time with it, but I saw that it was available on the N64 emulator on the Switch, and I don't know, like I was itching to play it. And I do have Thousand Year Door on Switch. I bought it. So after I finish Paper Mario 1, I'll definitely jump into Thousand Year Door. And I've really been itching to play a lot of these older RPGs, these older games that, you know, are available on these emulators. Because I've always had an interest in playing older, like retro games, you know, like games from the 90s, early 2000s. But, you know, being in my current living situation where, you know, I don't have space at home to be able to set up like a whole retro arcade, which is what I would which is my dream. Like, I'd love to be able to have a room that I can dedicate to, like, you know, make it like a retro arcade where I have like a CRT and all my old retro consoles set up. And then, of course, my new consoles as well. I think that'd be pretty sweet. But right now in my apartment, I just don't have space for that. So if I want to play these older games, emulators are the way to go. And these are official emulators through Nintendo Switch. So they run fine. They work fine. The responses are great. They look great on the TV and on the Switch. So there's no need for me to get any like Frame Meister or anything like that or mess with it. I can literally just plug in my Switch and play. And that's something that I really love about it. And I think this year, I'm really going to take advantage of my access to these emulators and play a lot of these older games. There's a lot of RPGs that I want to play, you know, older RPGs from like the Sega Genesis, SNES. I want to play Earthbound. I've never played Earthbound, but I've always wanted to. And yeah, so I've just really, really been, you know, craving to play those older games. And not just RPGs, but the arcadey ones too that I mentioned. So like Streets of Rage. Really, really enjoy Streets of Rage. And yesterday I booted up Golden Axe, which I don't know if I have any footage for it. If I do, I'll put it on. But Golden Axe is really fun. And I'm definitely going to include some footage of Altered Beast here. So with that being said, as far as like on my PS5 goes, yes, I'm still playing KCD2. After I finish KCD2, I will probably start, you know, Assassin's Creed Shadows, because I did pick that up when it came out. I was just really hyped for it and I picked it up. I will probably start that because I do want to also play these new games. But I really think that this year I'm going to have more of a focus on older games, games that are on my backlog, retro games that maybe I've never heard of before. Because honestly, there's just a feeling I get when I play those games that's really nice. And like, for example, playing Pikmin 1. I talked about this in my Joy of Gaming video. Pikmin has really brought, like when I put in Pikmin and I started playing it, it really brought back like the joy in gaming that I remember as a kid. And I'm feeling that right now playing Paper Mario, which is such a nostalgic experience. It's one of the first video games that I really played as a kid, like one of the first big ones that I played. So going back to it and, you know, reliving it now, it really has been a treat. And, you know, now we even got an Oblivion remake. The Oblivion remake is officially out, and I've only been hearing good things about it. I'm sorry, Oblivion remaster. They called it a remaster, even though it honestly looks like a remake, but I digress. We have an Oblivion remaster out now, and I've never experienced Oblivion. Talked about that last week, about how, you know, I played a little bit of Skyrim. Wasn't, you know, not necessarily that it wasn't for me. I just couldn't really like dedicate myself to it. So I think I'm okay with saying that I'll probably never finish Skyrim. But I've never played Oblivion, and now it's out, and that's another game that, you know, I would like to get into. maybe hopefully this year, who knows, I might play something like Persona 3 Reload, which is a remake of Persona 3, which was an older Persona game, and they remade it. So even though Persona 3 Reload came out like last year, so it's still technically a new game, it's a remake of an old game. So it kind of still falls into that spirit of playing an older game, something that would have been on a backlog. And so that's really where I'm at right now with gaming this year. I think I am going to play more older games that I haven't really been able to play yet, that have been on my backlog, and also sprinkle in a couple new games here and there, and then just kind of play like arcade style games here and there. That's really what I enjoy. I think that's where I find some of the most joy, is when I just pop on a game like Wipeout, or Fast RMX on the Switch, or Mario Kart 8, and just like get a little session out of it, where I race, win a race or lose a race, whatever it might be, or like play some of those arcade games, beat 'em ups, shoot 'em ups, whatever they might be. Really a lot of value in those kind of games. And if you're not playing those kind of games and you're focusing mainly on like big scale action RPGs, games that are like 50 to 100 hours or whatever, if you have a Nintendo Switch and you have an online membership, I highly recommend that you look into going into those older consoles and seeing what's there and what these older games have to offer, because it really is satisfying to go back and play those games. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and talk about my current state of gaming, what I'm playing now, what I have been enjoying, and I hope that maybe you find some value in this, and maybe it got you thinking on maybe trying something different if you feel that you've been stuck in a rut of I don't know what to play, or maybe games aren't fun anymore. Maybe go out there and try playing like an older game, and I really do think that will bring back that joy, because as much as I love the brand new games that are coming out, there's so much coming out that I'm looking forward to. A lot of it is very taxing, in terms of time, in terms of, like the energy it takes to actually play that game, and the focus. Like even KCD2, which I'm playing and I'm loving right now, when I sit down to play that game, I need to have like a solid 2 hours to be able to really get into it. I could play for 30 minutes, but I'm not going to get much done. It's going to take me an hour and a half to 2 hours to really get anything done in that game. So, when I'm going to play that game, I need to know that I have like a good 2 to 3 hour window where I can just really be in that world. But sometimes I just want to pick up my Switch and play for 20 minutes, get some satisfaction out of that, put it down and call it a day. And I think that's, something that, a lot of people kind of take for granted, is just playing those little games, those little sessions, those little bursts. So anyways, that's it for this week. Hope you guys have a great weekend, you guys and gals. Whoever's watching this video, have a great weekend. And we have Oblivion is out. Let me know in the comments below, did you buy Oblivion? Are you playing it? I'm not playing it just yet. Also, Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders are finally out, and I think sold out now. I didn't pre-order it myself. I will definitely get it someday, but not now. I'm not going to adopt it just now. I'll probably be a late adopter of the Switch 2. We'll see how that goes. Maybe by the end of the year I have one. I don't know. We'll see. But did you pre-order it? Did you get your hands on it? Just a couple things to think about there, a couple current events. But what I'd really love to hear is what kind of games have you been playing, and what kind of games have you been, more importantly, like what have you been enjoying playing? What kind of games have really been, like bringing you joy and like, making you feel that feeling that games give us. So anyways, this was LittleMoeGaming at lunch, and as always, take care.